It's our reality, just your average family, trying to be normal and stay out of trouble, living a double life.
What's up? Two Get Thurmans, Season 2, Episode 11, Parents Don't Understand. This episode starts off at the Thunder House, where Phoebe tells Max how they got invited. Max says, to Wendy Lee's party, he knows. Phoebe says, oh, and hey. Max says, his band is playing, he knows. And Phoebe says, oh, but wait. Max says, her parents won't be there, he knows. And Phoebe says, will you please stop knowing things? Max says, it's annoying, he knows. Again, first, I love Max of the episode. I love Max. Phoebe says, this stinks. Barb and Hank will never let them go to a party without parents. And Max says, once again, he's way ahead of you. Follow his lead. Max asks Barb and Hank how they got invited to Wayne's party tonight. And before they ask, their parents will be there. And Phoebe starts mumbling about how their parents will be there all night, being parents. And Max says, in fact, why don't they call them, right? Give them a call. Phoebe said, can't believe they're actually calling. They're actually calling their parents. They call them, but they're actually calling Colosso with a fake voice. But then we see that once Colosso has done the call, we see that it's actually Max. Somehow they were able to find out that it's Colosso. And Max tries to be shocked that Colosso is Winnie's dad, but Phoebe tells him to just walk away. After the opening, in the A-plot, because we're back to A-plots, which I don't think we've been in the plot for a while. In the A-plot, Max and Phoebe come home to the living room. Max says how Barb and Hank says Barb and Hank that he and Phoebe realized they were right, and they shouldn't be going to a party without supervision. So they're going to the library to study. Hank says, hold it, and then rips off Max's outfit to reveal his party outfit. Phoebe says, what? Max, were you going to go to the party without her? Were you just going to ditch her to go to Winnie Louie's party? That's crazy, right? Then Barb says, that's crazy, and then rips her shirt off to reveal a party outfit. Phoebe said, would you believe this is library casual? Barb says, yeah, now it's busted casual. Max says, come on, Barb. He and Oyster are the party band, and Barb could be killing their careers. Phoebe says, Winnie Lee is the most popular girl in school. If you turn out one of her parties, you're done. Kelly Franklin turned out one of her parties, you know what happened? Barb says, no. She does one no. And then Phoebe's like, yeah, that's right. She was done. Which means I guess she either quit school or... Hank says, their decision is final. Max asks, what do they have against parties? And Barb says, they love parties. They just love parties to have parents. Hank says he and Barb met at a party, and Phoebe and Max annoyingly say, they know. And say, they know. Barb's got cold. Hank gave her his jacket. Then they kiss. And Phoebe and Max say, ew, but Barb's like, it's not ew. It's electric. Sparks actually flew. And that was the moment where Barb discovered she had the power of electricity. And Hank becomes an egotist again, saying that it was all his. He's the reason why she has she's a superhero. Then Barb rightfully zaps him, and he says he's nothing without her. Thank you, Barb. I'm glad you did not let Hank, being an egotist, stay for long, because if you know me, I just don't like Hank when he thinks everything's about him. And he's an egotist. He is. He thinks everything's about him, and I think that's what it is. But anyway, Hank is Barb zaps him, and he says he's nothing without her. Phoebe says she's nothing without the party. Max says he's going to the library. Hank says Max. Max says Hank, and he's like, okay. fine, walk away, and he does. Yeah. Yeah. And Lee. Barb says, how did Hank know they had breakaway clothes? And Hank says he didn't. That would have gone, he didn't. That could have gone way badly. That could have gone bad. Barb says Blobbin's. Then they hear a helicopter, and Bob says Blobbin's here, or it's someone else with a gold jet, a gold helicopter. Billy says bye because Billy says bye. He and Nora are gonna live at Blobbin's now, but Hank's like, yeah, no, you're just going there to meet Blobbin's new dog, and also you guys can have a B plot, yeah. So yeah, you guys can have a B plot consist to our A plot. Hey, Barb tries to hug Billy and Nora, but they go to see Blobbin, which is like a big roast on her because they have experience with Barb's hugs about how it almost killed them. So they know this time to basically just not try to hug her. Yeah. Hank says now he's gonna do his, and then Blobbin starts doing cry sounds. Barb tells Billy and Nora to be good and mind Blobbin, and Blobbin says he'll take care of them. And by the way, this is Blobbin's only appearance in this season. I think he makes an appearance he makes a couple appearances in season 3, but he makes a couple of appearances next season. But for this, he only made 2 appearances in season 1 and 1 appearance in season 2, I think. Yeah, I think he only made 1 appearance in season 2. He makes a couple of appearances in season 3. And I think he has a lot of appearances in the final season, I think. But yeah. Blobbin says he'll take care of them. Blobbin lets them take turns on his jet and tells them that they'll switch mid-flight. Switch turns mid-flight, which is obviously dangerous. In Max's lair, Max slides down, only to discover Phoebe is waiting for him with his Brain Melt 3000, which we have not heard of since the season 1 pilot episode where Max wanted to melt Cherry's brain, which is a good. Actually, I don't reference that in this episode, but it's just a good thing for them to bring that thing back. Max asks Phoebe what he's doing there with his Brain Melt 3000. Phoebe says no reason. It's not like Max could just tweak it to make Hank and Barb remember what it's like to be teenagers, so she and Max go to that party. And Max says, come on, that's never... Wait, he can do that. He'll just wipe their adult memories and they'll think they're 15. Since Max is their age, they'll think they're Phoebe and Max's ages, which Phoebe and Max are 15. Yeah, they'll think they're 15 years old. Phoebe says, what? Really? Phoebe says she can't believe Max had an idea and are solely responsible for that said idea. Max says this little game they're playing is making her feel better. Phoebe says, yeah, she can't be a part of this, and gives Max his tool. Meanwhile, in the B plot at Blobbin's mansion, Nora says how Blobbin's house is huge, and Blobbin says how he finds rooms every day. Thank goodness for his map. Oh look, they have a food court. Billy says they can't wait to see Blobbin's dog, and Blobbin says he's the best. His name is Doggin, which, i.e., next season they'll completely change the dog's gender out of the blue. This season they call him a boy, but next season he's a girl, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Why they changed the dog's gender between seasons? How they say he's a boy here, but then when they turn him into a human, I think that's what happens next season. We'll review that episode, but I'll review that episode. But he's a girl for some reason, either because he needs a girl actress for that episode, or that the writers just forgot they already canonically made Doggin a boy, but then next season they make him a girl. They say he's a girl because he wears tutus. I don't know. I don't know why they changed it. That's just writing, I guess. That's just writing, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. His name, he's the best. His name is Doggin because, of course, blobbin, Doggin. And he does tricks. And he's always there when you need him. Nora says, really, where is he? Blobbin reveals that he doesn't actually have the dog. Yep. He tricked Hank and Barb into giving off Billy and Nora, giving Billy and Nora to him so he could have them pretend to be his kids so he could get the dog from the dog owner lady. Yep, Billy and Nora are like, wait a minute, you tricked us? You made us come all the way to Metroburg to be your kids? Blobby Jr. and Blobby Sue, which are terrible names. Like, yeah. Billy says they're not his puppets, but then he just gives them money, just says he'll buy them whatever they want, and they're okay with what they're okay with it as long as they get money, because remember, Billy's 10, Billy's 11, and Nora's 9. Or 10. So yeah, in the A plot, Barb asks Hank if they were too hard on the kid. Hank says never. Their jobs are to listen and obey. Deep down, they know who's boss around. And Barb says now they do, and starts clapping and starts like high fiving, which is so weird. Phoebe really wants to melt their brains. Max says go ahead, and Phoebe pushes her. Max says melt away, and Phoebe uses her remote on the to erase Hank and Barb's adult memory. Hank and Barb wake up, and teenage Barb, which I'll just be calling her, says, "Oh my gosh, what just happened?" And Hank says, "I'm freaking out. He doesn't even know where he is." Yeah, because of course they're teenagers, so they won't have their adult memories. So they have no clue who they are, and they have no clue who they are or what they're doing there. Phoebe and Max say like that they're just there to stay the night, which is like, and Hank's like, and teenage Hank's like, road trip, noise, which is his catchphrase for the episode. And Phoebe says they have the house for themselves and no parents. Teenage Barb is like, totally rad. Yeah, this episode just feels cringe. I do like this episode just because I feel like I like how Rosa Blasky and Chris Tallman totally embraced the teenager attitude throughout the entire episode. But it's cringe with the dialogue. Like, totally rad. I know it's like, when were they kids? When were they teenagers? The 90s? The 80s? Because that's where it comes out. And Teenage Hank says, fridge raid! And Phoebe says, okay, Max, is this reversible? Max like, now she's asking him that? Of course it is. Teenage Barb says, nice hair. She likes Phoebe's braid. They call her Barbie. So yeah, I'll just call her Barbie. So it's Teenage Barb / Barbie. Yeah. Max says he's Max, and Phoebe says this is, but Phoebe says weird. And Teenage Hank says they have a buttload of ice cream. And he's one hungry Hankosaurus Rex. Teenage Barb says, the Hankosaurus guy is such a loudmouth. Why is he even here? Phoebe says, I thought they were together. And Teenage Barb says, as if. So yeah, Phoebe and Max have basically made it so Barb and Hank are now acting like teenagers before they met. So yeah, but I just like doing these voices. Max asks Phoebe, and says Phoebe and him gotta go. Max's band is playing a party, and Teenage says he'll bring the ice cream, and Phoebe says it's an invite only, and they leave. Meanwhile, in the B plot in Bobbin's mansion, Billy is playing with an airplane while Nora is putting on bling glasses and a bling bow. when Blobbin brings them brings them in brings in for them a gum no me from One Piece. Actually, no, it's not called that. It's called a spazberry, but you know it looks like the gum no me from One Piece. But instead of giving them stretchy powers, it makes them super hyper. But we all know that it's just a repaint of the gum no mi from One Piece. It's a repaint of a devil fruit. It literally is purple with a green stem. That has to be a gum no mi from One Piece. Blobbin says, don't eat the gum no mi, kids. I mean, don't eat the spazberry. Eat them because it'll make them very hyper. Eat them so they get until after. So they'll get it until after. So they'll get it until after. They won't get it until after they get him dogging. The dog lady shows up and says how she's not a big fan of you superhero, as you're always dressing up her dogs and putting them in danger. Blobbin says, no, he would never do that. And the dog lady says she's here to see if this is a happy home. And Blobbin says, yeah, let me introduce him to her kid. But he sees that Billy and Nora ate the spazberries and they are really hyper. Blobbin says, I thought they were supposed to save the spazberries for later. But Nora says they couldn't wait. They were so juicy. And Billy says, spazberry! Meanwhile on the A plot, Phoebe and Max are getting to the party, only to see partygoers leaving. When they get the alert that the party got moved to the Thunder House, Max asks Barb Barbie what's going on. Barb says so they wouldn't let them come to their party, so they throw their own. Hope Phoebe and Max's parents don't mind. Then Teenage Hank says, whoever those losers are. Oyster is like, partay. And Max says, Oyster, no. Okay, I kind of like this voice. And Oyster breaks a table. Hank says, that was noise. And that's the Thunder House. Max is like, oh well, Phoebe. She said she wanted Max and Hank to be teenagers again. Phoebe's like, oh yeah? But she didn't want them to be dancing and wear her clothes. Max like, to remind her to burn them. Then Max sees at least Hank is wearing his clothes just for teenage Hank to rip off his clothes. And to see that he's actually wearing Max's clothes. Like come on, dude. You're supposed to be a teenager. I can't kind of like do this voice. I'll probably do it without the rest of the episode, only in the blogging section. Phoebe says they need to turn Barb and Hank back into adults, like now, and shut the party down. Cherry says, so Phoebe, when your parents, they're so like, when your parents, it's like they got shot with a Cobra or something. Max says he should have used that Cobra. So Phoebe learns that teenage Barbie is dancing with her popular girl, Winnie the Lee. Like Phoebe is totally his out. She's totally into this girl. Like totally. Like I don't get it. Like she's like, oh Max, now we gotta keep the party going because of Winnie the Lee. Because they're trying to make Phoebe unlikable now. Like really, literally, they're trying to make Phoebe unlikable. She you had a mission, Phoebe. You had to get to it. You had a mission, Phoebe. Get to it, girl. Yeah, she's like, Max, you have to keep the party going. So Max bans him to play something like Teenage Hank says, rock and roll, brah. Max is like, she was talking to me and Oyster. What about Gideon or Angus? What about them? Did I play your band, Max? Did you totally forget about them, yo? You totally forget about them? Come on, bro. What about Angus or Gideon? They're not in this episode, but it's like, what happened to them? I feel like if they had Gideon, he would like hit on Barbie or whatever. And what about Angus? What about him? Like if he was in it, he'd just be like, "Oh, Barbie came from heaven." Like come on, man, come on, Angus. So Teenage Hank is like harsh. Everyone starts dancing when the Max band plays. Meanwhile, in the B plot, Blobbin mentions how Nora and Billy are acting hyper from the Spazberries. Billy's speeding everywhere, and Nora's lasering the place. The other lady says, "Does Blobbin really think he's gonna go home for? This is a good home for a dog?" She says she wouldn't let a cat live here. Blobbin says it's not his fault she ate the Spazberries. They ate the Spazberries. The dog lady says he gave them the Spazberries. And Dog Lady says they're done. Blobbin leaves. Blobbin says goodbye to Doggy and then leave. Meanwhile, on the A-Pod at their house, Phoebe is taking pictures with Winnie the Lee. Cherry tells Phoebe that this is going so well. Cherry's like, "Phoebe, social life is set." Then Phoebe's like, their social life is sad. This Teenage Barb / Barbie says she found someone's journal. Phoebe says that's actually Max. Max actually calls it his thought book. Then Phoebe says that's her thought book. Teenage Barbie says if Phoebe doesn't want people to read it, then she shouldn't have looked in a drawer. Like come on, Phoebe. Like come on, girl. Yeah. Madison from the episode Chairperson Danger reads it, but Phoebe's able to get it out of her hand. And she's like, "Oh my god, Phoebe! Like, come on, girl!" It's like, "Oh my god, Phoebe, touchy much." Yeah. Phoebe rips her journal and tells Teenage Barbie that it's not cool. She needs to respect people's privacy, especially from Winnie Lee. Teenage Barbie says, "Don't tell her what to do. She's not her mom. And Winnie Lee's her girl." Boom. Max is done playing with his band when Max confronts Teenage Hank over what he's doing. Teenage Hank says he's making money on the party slide. Max says it's not a party slide, it's a layer slide. Then Teenage Hank is like, "Your layer slide." Boom. Wow, that was like a roast. Roasty roast. OMG. That was a roast. Sorry. But I stopped doing this voice. I got it because it's a teenager episode, so I have to do a teenager's voice. With a teenager's girl voice. Oh my god. OMG. See? Still very good. Max goes on his layer slide to see people are down there partying. Max forgot to charge his Brain Melt 3000 or whatever, and Oyster comes down to the table and then Hank is breaking stuff upstairs. Hank is breaking stuff, and Phoebe tells Max that tells Max thanks to Teenage Barbie. Thanks to Teenage Barbie, Winnie Lee is never going to invite her to a party ever again. And Hank's about to expose her secret. And then Max is like, she has athlete's foot. And then then Phoebe's like, "No, there are other." He's going to expose them as superheroes. So he's like, Oyster's like, "Yo, bro, he has super strength." But then Max is like, "No, he doesn't have super strength." And then anyone can do it. And Max breaks his hands. So they need to turn Hank and Barb back to the adult self so they can end the party. Max says definitely after he sees Oyster, after he and Oyster play that song. Teenage Hank breaks his guitar, so Hank decides they need to end the party. Phoebe asks where the Brain Melt 3000 is. Max says it's downstairs charging, but Phoebe says that it needs 4 more minutes. If he needs 4 more hours. Phoebe says she's trying to Phoebe says they don't have 4 hours. Phoebe says the story of Hank and Barb's first kiss. Max says she's trying to make this bad night worse. Phoebe says she's trying to save it, and Hank and Barb's first kiss was electric. They could use that to supercharge the Brain Melt 3000. Max says kiss, they gotta get them together. Hank asks Teenage Barb if they're doing it, and Barb says as if, and steps on his foot and leaves with Max saying she was saying we on the B plot. Blobbin is crying over Doggin, and Nora says get your stuff together, Blobbin. Blobbin says why should he? Doggin is gone and forever. And Nora says no, he's not. Which again he later turned into a lady in the next season. But he's not. The dog lady's gonna come back. Why do you say that? Because she's gonna give him a second chance. And they stole her keys. Billy said her brush is her brush. She forgot, and her brush. His hair has never looked better. Nora says, I think that's a dog's brush. And Billy says he knows. Then the dog owner shows up. And the dog owner shows up again. And Nora tells Blobbin to man up and get his dog back. And dog lady says she can't believe she left her. She believes she left her keys. She believes she left her keys there. And Barb says, wait, no. And Nora says she also left the greatest dog owner. She'll left behind the world's best dog owner because that's what Blobbin will be if she gives him a second chance. She gets her car keys back and Doggin starts barking. So Nora lasers the collar so Doggin can go to Blobbin. Doggin tells the dog to get back to heel, but Doggin to sit. But Doggin is licking Blobbin and Billy says, "Come on, dog lady. How can you say no? How do you say no to that?" And she says like this and tells the dog to come, but Doggin growls at her and barks at her. Nora says, "That's dog talk for beat it, bossy." Then dog lady lets Blobbin keep dogging, and she says, let her say that, but they all growl at her, and she says okay, and she leaves, and Blobbin gives gives Billy and Nora money to repay them. Well, dog likes Blobbin. Meanwhile, on the A plot, Max and Phoebe start bringing Hank and Barb down to Max's lair. Teenage Hank's like, why are they down here when the party's upstairs? Max says, because this is the VIP lounge for the cool kids. Phoebe says she thought they wanted to come down and hang out. Phoebe says they have to recreate the first kiss. Max will make it cold if Phoebe takes Hank's jacket. Hank uses a little freeze breath. Hank first puts it on himself, and then Phoebe and Max argue, but not realizing while they're arguing, Hank takes his jacket and puts it on Barb. But then they kiss, creating an electric field that they use the power of the Brain Melt 3000. They turn it on and they restore Hank and Barb back to their adult selves. There. Now I can stop doing that voice. I love doing that voice, but now I can stop. Actually, I did stop before, but actually, I'm not. I love doing the voice. Hank asks why are he and Barb why are they in Max's lair? And Barb asks why is she wearing Phoebe's clothes? Hank sees the Brain Melt 3000, and Hank says if he and Max had their brains melted. Hank says it was all, and I also got this scene from this episode, this scene where they're teenagers. Barb asks why she's wearing Phoebe's clothes, and sees the Brain Man 5000, and Hank asks if Max their brains. Max says he can never lie to Hank and how it's all Phoebe's fault. Phoebe says about how it was both their fault because they wanted to show Hank what it was like to be remember what it was like to be teenagers, so they could let them go to the park. Bob's like, they really let them go to that party, and Max is like, they threw the party. So then we cut to Hank and Barb throwing everyone out. We need to leave. It tells Phoebe that she'll be going to that if she likes parties, she'll be going to all of them. And Oyster asks Hank if they'll be going to the water park tomorrow, but Hank just tells him to get out. Then at the Thunder House, Barb and Hank are like, Baby, Max, make us breakfast. And are cleaning up when Hank and Barb are like, make us breakfast. And then Phoebe's like, okay, we know we did, so we wanted you guys to be teenagers tonight. I'm telling teenagers. And she's like, bring on Hank, it's all. And then they kiss. But then, yeah. Then Barb says, look, it's Billy and Nora, the two kids who didn't melt their brain. Nora shows off her money. And Blobbin shows Hank, says they may have fun time, but so did Hank and Barb, and shows them all the pictures from the party to end the episode. Okay. That was this episode. That was episode 11. Parental Understand. Okay. It's just funny talking that voice. It's just funny talking that voice. So yeah, it's just funny talking.